Uspap Page 123. Advisory Opinion 21 to be solved in scope of work, if the assignment is an appraisal review as defined by USPAP. If the assignment is an appraisal review, then Dan must comply with the development and reporting requirements of Standards 3 and 4. There may be circumstances when Dan is not acting as an appraiser. If Dan acts in other roles, say as a mortgage underwriter, then Dan may be in a position to provide the valuation service outside of appraisal practice. If Dan acts outside of appraisal practice, he must ensure that he does not misrepresent his role and that the client and any other intended users do not expect him to act as an appraiser. Rent Survey 3. A client has asked Mike Black to perform a rent survey. The client owns the Acme office building and wants to know if he is charging enough rent. The client asked Mike to perform this work because he knows Mike is an appraiser. Therefore, this valuation service is included in appraisal practice and USPAP applies. How can Mike provide this service in compliance with USPAP? Answer: Mike should fully investigate the client's expectations before determining the scope of work for this assignment. Does the client want only to know what rental rates are being charged for other office buildings in the area? If so, this is likely a service for which USPAP has no standards, i.e., Standards 1 and 2 when providing real property appraisals. Mike would then be obligated to comply with the portions of USPAP that apply generally to appraisal practice, i.e., the preamble, the definitions, the ethics rule, the competency rule, and the jurisdictional exception rule. The development and reporting of the assignment results would be entirely at his discretion, and a work file would not be required. However, if the client expects Mike to collect rental rate and lease term information and to analyze them to conclude the market rental terms for the Acme building, this is an appraisal. This assignment is an appraisal because it includes a specific subject property, i.e., the right to use space in the building, and the problem to be solved in the assignment is a value opinion, i.e., the market rental terms for that space. The appraisal assignment should then be completed in compliance with Standards 1 and 2. Litigation Services 4. Marie Vaughn has a diverse practice with a specialization in litigation services. She commonly aids attorneys in developing cross-examination strategies for expert witness testimony from appraisers. How does USPAP apply to Marie's litigation services? Answer: in order to determine Marie's obligation, it is necessary to understand the nature of her role. If she is acting as an appraiser, her litigation services are part of appraisal practice. The preamble, the definitions, the ethics rule, the competency rule, and the jurisdictional exception rule will apply to the assignment. As an appraiser, Marie cannot act as an advocate for any party or issue. If Marie's services include providing an opinion of value, she must also comply with the appropriate appraisal standards, Standards 1 and 2, 7 and 8, or 9 and 10. If Marie's services include providing an opinion about the quality of another appraiser's work, the appraisal review requirements of Standards 3 and 4 apply. If the service includes providing analysis, recommendation, or an opinion to solve a problem where an opinion of value is a component of the analysis leading to the assignment results, then Marie must comply in the jurisdictional exception rule for the entire with the ethics rule, the competency rule and TH assignment. And she must also comply with any applicable rules and standards if she performs an appraisal or appraisal review as part of the assignment. On the other hand, if Marie provides litigation services as an advocate, then she is providing a valuation service outside of appraisal practice. When performing services outside of appraisal practice, Marie can act as an advocate and accept contingent compensation. The only USPAP obligation is that she not misrepresent her role. She must use care to distinguish her role from other roles that would carry an expectation of being impartial, objective, and independent, i.e., acting as an appraiser. Marie may provide litigation services by either acting as an appraiser or acting as an advocate for the client's cause. However, she must not perform both roles in the same case. Assignments with services other than appraisal or appraisal review advisory opinions 2018-2019 edition. The Appraisal Foundation 123 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 20 20 20 2 2 2 2 2 2